Lawmakers tonight failing to protect the interests of American workers and companies. The Senate has caved in to special interest groups and even foreign governments by softening the Buy American provision in that so-called stimulus package. Bill Tucker has our report.
The Buy American provisions in the stimulus plan could be changing. Senators Byron Dorgan and Sherrod Brown offered an amendment approved by the Senate which states that the Buy American provisions, quote, shall be applied in a manner consistent with United States obligations under international agreements. It seems like a small change, but that change did not please those who argue American trade policy is not being conducted in America's interest, like the U.S. Business and Industry Council, which represents 1,800 small and medium businesses.
This is a classic example of the American political establishment putting Americans last when it comes to economics and trade policy and economic recovery.
The complaint? America is surrendering to threats from Canada and Europe, countries which threaten to file complaints with the World Trade Organization if Congress does not change its Buy American provisions. Yet, those countries all have domestic supplier laws of their own. Global Trade Watch says Canada has WTO agreements restricting use of foreign products in government transportation projects. And they say European Union countries can favor local companies in certain activities having to do with drinking water, energy, transportation, or telecommunications. The new wording in the U.S. bill has a number of exceptions, but Senator Sherrod Brown, who co-sponsored the amendment, defends the Senate's actions, saying the language remains strong and the intention of Congress clear.
This language is the right way to write it. We've expanded it from not just steel, iron and steel, but to other products. That means no more 800-mile fences along the Mexican border with Chinese steel. It means no more Mexican concrete. For infrastructure projects, it means we're going to provide American jobs. We're not turning our back on American workers.
Shortly after the vote amending the Buy American provisions, an amendment was offered to strike the provisions. And that amendment was offered by Senator John McCain. It was defeated by a vote of 65 to 31. Now, clearly, this remains an ongoing process. And whatever the bill that ends up in the Senate and ends up passing, that's going to have to be reconciled with the House version. And Lisa, we both know and we've reported the House has its own Buy American provision. So,
well, what's the bottom line? I mean, would these Buy American provisions violate our existing free trade agreements?
Well, no, because we're bound by them. And a number of trade groups told me off the record today that they were kind of angry that these senators went down and offered the amendment. They were trying to ease the appearance of illegality, which looks like they're fessing up to the fact that they were guilty of something that they couldn't have been guilty of doing. So they're mad, but at the same time, publicly, they're celebrating a victory. They're saying, see, we won. We get the Buy American provisions.
Yeah, but bottom line, I mean, that's something, because I know that there are many groups out there saying that these Buy Americans are violating the trade agreements, the U.S. Chamber among them. But the bottom line, that's not the case.
Well, and the Chamber has its own agenda here because a number of its members are foreign companies which wouldn't meet some of the provisions under Buy American. So they are definitely out there saying, guys, this violates our laws, which it doesn't.
Okay, Bill Tucker, thanks for that report.